Now is Ranking Member Keating for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Joseph, how does the lifting of the sanctions on Dodik and his affiliates embolden him to remain in politics and continue to further Republika Srpska's secessionist inclinations?
Ranking Member Keating, it does precisely that. By prematurely giving up our leverage over Dodik, we incentivize this long-standing malefactor and ally of Russia, open ally of Russia, to continue his destabilizing activities, which we see. Instead of stepping down as head, now first having been banished as president of Republika Srpska, he refuses to step down as head of the SNSD party. As the Central Election Commission, an institution of the state of Bosnia-Herzegovina, has insisted. So the answer to your question is this provides exactly the wrong incentives, removes our leverage, and makes it more difficult for the positive actions that the U.S. Embassy and the administration are trying to do to solve this southern interconnector impasse, which would relieve Bosnia's dependency on Russian gas. Thank you, sir.
Would you say, too, that the same holds true for his family and affiliates?
I would absolutely say that, and that's what was so surprising by this all-at-once decision. I simply don't understand. I've negotiated many agreements in the region. I negotiated an agreement between Kosovo and Serbia to hold Serbian national elections in Kosovo. You never give up your leverage until necessary.
Thank you. Mr. Coffey, thank you for your characterization in the beginning and your statements about Europe matters, because I think that's really critical, and it's one of the underpinnings of this particular hearing, too, as to why the Western Balkans matter. You mentioned still the importance of the Dayton peace accords. Who would benefit if that is, disbanded and we move away from that?
Thank you very much for that question. Before I answer this question, I want to put everything in the correct context and remind that I believe the #1 priority for the United States right now in Europe is maintaining unity and stability so we can deal with what is the largest war on the continent since the 1940s. In that context, I think that disbanding, unwinding, tinkering Dayton and its institutions is too much of a risky business, which could have unpredictable outcomes that could create additional problems at a time when we don't need any. There are, as you've heard from my fellow witnesses, there are issues with Dayton. No one, I don't think, has said it's perfect. It's now 30 years old. Things change, times change. You have different personalities coming in, personalities leaving, so the whole dynamic can change. But right now is not the time to have this discussion if you're looking at it purely from a U.S. national interest point of view.
Okay, thank you so much. And Mr. Joseph, the Millennium Challenge Corporation's compact with Kosovo, it does continue to bring energy security and workforce development to Kosovo. Can you comment on the importance of diversifying away from coal and how the MCC compact facilitates this diversification, and as well as U.S. foreign assistance to Kosovo vitally affecting Kosovo's ability to move forward in the future? How does the U.S. foreign assistance in Kosovo facilitate regional stability, as well as Kosovo's future in the EU and in NATO?
Thank you, Mr. Ranking Member. Our continuing support for Kosovo, economic, and I would emphasize here military, is essential for U.S. interests. We have to remember that the United States and NATO have the obligation, responsibility to care for Kosovo's security under KFOR, the successful NATO peacekeeping force. So we already have that requirement and obligation. The more we can do to enable Kosovo's economic security and its military security by enhancing our bilateral relationship with Kosovo, it serves our own security interests. Let me quickly add here, Ranking Member Keating, that the solution here, this standoff is not this intractable problem going back to 1389 that no one can solve between Kosovo and Serbia. It has a solution, and its name is NATO. A pathway, only a pathway to NATO will effectively end the standoff, because at that point, Serbia will have no alternative. Its isolation campaign, its non-recognition campaign, its dependence on Russia and China at the UN Security Council will be meaningless. Why? Because NATO membership is vastly more important for Kosovo than is UN membership.
Well, thank you for
sir.
addressing KFOR's importance, and I yield back.